Good morning, students. This tutorial will be about how to grab an image off Google Images, an image that is free for you to use and to modify. And then I'm going to show you how to cite that image, and then I'm going to show you how to insert that image into a Word document and put it into a position in a paragraph. So as you can see, I'm on Google, so I'm going to click on Google Images. And then I'm going to look for an image on Julius Caesar. And there it pops up right there. And then all of these images you see here most likely are not free for you to use. So you're going to click on Search Tools. And then you're going to click on Usage Rights. And you're going to look for labeled for non-commercial reuse with modification. Because that's you're not going to be using it to sell anything. So that's the non-commercial part. And in case you want to change it, that's the modification part. So I'm going to click on that. And now all these images, for the most part, are images that you will be able to use for a presentation or a document or something like that. The next thing you want to look for is not only do you want to look for non-commercial reuse with modification, but perhaps you want to look for size. I recommend looking for images that are larger than 800 by 600. And now that limits even more. So now it really boils down to preference of what is it you're looking for. So I'm going to choose this image right here. And notice that the pixelation is 690 by 930. So I'm going to click on that. And looks good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my mouse, I'm going to right click, and I'm going to save my image as. And then I'm going to go to my my picture folder, which is on my H drive. Oops. And I'm going to save it there. And as you can see, what I love about Google is that it shows you down there that it's been downloaded. The next thing I want to do is I want to grab the citation for it. So I'm going to left click, and I'm going to drag across all the way to the .org. If there was a .com, I'd go to the .com, .edu, .gov. You want to go all the way to that spot there. I'm going to hit Control-C to copy. And so now I have my image downloaded or saved, and I also have copied the site. So now I'm going to open up my Word document. And this Word document here is the document that I want to insert my picture into. But before I can do that, I need to make my citation. So I'm going to go to the bottom of the paragraph, and I'm going to insert my image by clicking on Insert, click on Picture, and then there's my picture. It's in my picture folder. I'm going to insert it, and it comes in rather large because the pixelation was rather large, and that's good. But now I'm going to shrink it down. The larger the image, the better, because then as you shrink it down, you're not going to lose the quality of the image. So I'm going to move it just a little bit smaller. That looks good. And then the next thing I want to do is I'm going to insert a text box, and I'm going to draw my text box, and I'm going to draw it underneath my Julius Caesar. And then I'm going to Control-V to paste my citation. Notice the citation is grayed out. It's actually a hyperlink because that's what I copied when I copied it off of Google. So I'm going to click on Control, and I'm going to choose the A, because the A means all you want is basic text. You don't want it to have a hyperlink. You don't want to keep that format. I just want text. Notice how it changed to black. And that's exactly what I want to do. Then I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to make the font a size 6. So I'm just going to type in 6 and hit enter. And then I'll center that in my box. And then since it's so small, I don't need such a large text box. So I'm going to shrink that down. The next thing I want to do is I want to group these together. But in order to do so, I still have to I have to be able to format my picture to allow it to be moved around. So I'm going to choose square for wrap text. And this is okay. This happens. It'll move the text box. So I'll move the text box back right underneath. And now one is highlighted, so I'm going to hold down Shift. I'm going to click on the other, and now they're both highlighted. Then I'm going to right click. I'm going to go to group, and I'm going to choose group, and now they are grouped together. And then the last thing I want to do, well, there's two more things I want to do. I want to get rid of the text box. So I'm going to click on the box of the text box, click on Format, and I'm going to go to Shape Outline, and I'm going to choose No Outline. And now you see that there's no more box around the text. Okay, the last thing I want to do is I want to move this up to the top right position to put it into the paragraph. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the picture, and I'm going to click on position, and I'm going to choose this one here because it's the top right position. But of course, I'm on the second page. So what I'm going to have to do is just bring it up there, and then I'm going to keep moving it up until I get it to where I want it to go. And you notice as I'm moving it around that the text moves. What I'm thinking of, I'd like to have this image actually inside of the paragraph, not sticking out in another paragraph. So that means I'm going to have to make this a little bit smaller. But that's just going to affect my text box. So I got to make that a little bit bigger, because I got to see my citation. So if I drag this way, there we go. And now, as I move it, it's now right next to the paragraph. Now notice how the letters went here. I don't want that. So if I click on it, I could just use the arrow to make sure. And there you go. And so now I have an image that's cited. It's in a paragraph. It goes along with the topic I'm talking about, and that's exactly what I want to do. Remember to Control S when you want to save it. And there you go. That's how you take an image from Google, cite it, and insert it into a Word doc.